Patrice.
And I'm Carly.
And we're the Community Activation and Learning Officers at Melton City Council.
Usually our team work in council's community centres delivering low cost or free programs for all ages.
In light of the current situation, we're not able to deliver these programs to you face to face. To ensure our communities still have access to these programs, we're providing you with a series of online videos.
These free videos will keep you and your family learning through isolation and beyond. We hope you enjoy them and we can't wait to see you back in our centres soon.
Hey everyone, welcome to yoga. My name is Kristee. Today we're going to be doing a strengths-based sequence. We're going to be doing some sun salutations, our warrior sequence, building a cardio workout throughout our class, as well as stretching, and then finding a little bit of peace at the end with a nice short meditation. If you do have any injuries, please work within your own limits. I will be providing modifications throughout the class, so keep an ear out for them. And of course, if anything is not feeling right, you can of course take a few moments rest, you can pause the video and then rejoin whenever you're ready to. We're going to start with a short little meditation, so you might like to sit in a chair for this, you can lay down, or you can just sit with your legs crossed, your legs out straight. You can close your eyes, place your hands on your lap, or if you're finding it a little bit hard today to connect in with the breath, you might like to place your hands on the stomach, the chest, or both. We're just going to take a few moments here to connect in with the body, starting with that breath. So you're not trying to change the breath right now. You're just breathing as you normally would. You might be breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. You might be breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. You might be breathing in through the mouth and out through the mouth. And as you start to breathe, just notice how that breath is moving through your body. Feel the cool air around your nostrils or your mouth as you first breathe in. Feel the chest expand. Feel the stomach expand, and then as you breathe out, feel the stomach and chest contract, and then that warm air either out through your mouth or your nose. You might like to check in with the body, notice any areas that might be injured, maybe a little bit stiff or sore today. If you really want to, you can do a little light move around just to get those areas feeling comfortable. And then we're going to take 5 more breaths here. And once you've completed those 5 breaths, you're going to slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. If you want to, you can blink open the eyes now. If you want to still keep them closed for a few moments, you can. We're going to move to the side of our mat, laying down onto our back. Give ourselves a nice little cuddle. Give yourself a little rock side to side. As you're doing this, you might notice that the back gets a little bit of a massage. If you need to do any twists here, you can. If your hips are feeling a little bit tight, you can also bounce them in just lightly. And then we're going to take the hands behind the knees, tuck the chin in towards the chest. We're going to give a quick little rock up and down along the spine. Hopefully your floor is comfortable. I'm on a nice little carpeted area, but if you have got a slate floor and this isn't too comfortable, you can slow down your rock, or you can come up to a seated position. We will be coming up to stand though, so if you can, try to give a rock and then come all the way up to a standing position straight away without those hands. If you can't do that, bring yourself to a seat and then up to standing position. We're going to find ourselves to the top of our mats, big toes touching, heels slightly apart, and find our Tadasana ready for our sun salutations. So we're stacking the weight here. We want our hips in line with our feet, our shoulders in line with those hips. We're going to draw those shoulder blades together, the palms facing forward and a slight tuck to the chin. This is our Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to start and end each of our rounds here. We're going to start by taking some lovely big breaths, and as we do, we're going to reach those hands up overhead. Taking a big breath in, reach those hands up towards the sky, And then as you breathe out, bring those palms together and bring them across the front of your body. We're going to do 5 more. Inhale. And exhaling out. So usually in yoga we like to breathe in and out through the nose for this style of yoga anyway. But I know that everyone breathes a little bit different. So if you do need to, you can breathe however you need to. If as you're breathing here, you're becoming a little bit lightheaded, maybe slow down that breath. And that was our 6. We're going to take a big breath in. And then as we exhale out, we're going to swan dive forward, reach down for those toes, bend those knees as much as you need to, let the head and neck dangle freely. You can give yourself a little rock side to side. This is called our forward fold. If you don't like your arms waving side to side here, you can catch onto those elbows as well. We really want to let the whole top half of the body melt across those legs. So try to let the neck dangle freely. Let the spine decompress here and then release out those arms. We're going to inhale, trace the hands along the fronts of the legs, straightening out the spine, lifting up halfway for a halfway lift. We want a nice flat back here. Exhale, swan dive forward, back into your forward fold. We're going to do a few more of those. Inhale, straightening out the spine, slight look forward, halfway lift. And then breathing out. 4 more for me. Inhale. I like to straighten my legs just a little bit as I'm coming up because it gives them a nice little stretch. But you can keep them bent if you need to. 3 more. Inhale. Breathing out. And out. Last one. Big breath in. Make this the straightest and flattest you can. Exhale. We're going to take those hands onto either sides of the feet, stepping back through our right leg, then our left leg coming into our downward facing dog. You can pedal out your feet here. I call it taking your dog for a little walk. Just gives you a nice little stretch through the backs of the legs and across the soles of the feet. And once you've given it a little bit of a wriggle and play, we're going to find some stillness here. I really want you to try and find a nice straight spine. It's okay if your down dog isn't feeling super comfortable just yet. We're still finding it here. Our heels are searching for the floor, but they don't have to be touching. We want to try and bring our stomach towards our thighs. We're then going to inhale, draw the body weight forward into plank position, shoulders over the tops of those wrists. Take those knees down for this first round, make it a little bit easier for yourself. And then exhale slowly, guiding the heart down to the ground. We're going to draw those fingers back slightly. Inhale, lifting up through the heart, pressing through the tops of those feet. Squeeze those glutes a little bit, or your butt cheeks if you really want to be technical. And then we're going to exhale, take it back. That was our baby cobra. We are going to change that throughout the rounds, but if that was enough for you, you can stay there too. We're in our down dog again. Once again, have a bit of a play. Give yourself some space. This is still our first round. We're still finding what our body is capable of today. And then we're going to inhale, lift up through our right leg to 3-legged dog. Take it to the ceiling. Step that foot forward. If you need to, you can walk it forward with the hand. Stepping forward, left leg, inhale to a halfway lift. Breathing out, rounding down, forward fold. Inhale to rise back up. We're in our Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to swap sides. Inhale. Exhale down. Halfway lift, flat back. Breathing out, rounding down, forward fold. Stepping back, left leg this time. Then our right leg, downward facing dog. Have a bit of a walk here. You might have noticed we didn't do as many arms up and down. We didn't do as many of our halfway lifts. We just keep the multiple ones for that first side on the first round. Inhale, draw the body weight forward. Plank, you can take those knees down or you can keep them up. This time we are guiding the chest down before the hips. Inhale, lifting to our baby cobra, or if you'd like to, you can straighten the arms for our upward facing dog, still pressing through those feet. So we don't want to relax here, we want to lift our whole body up to the ceiling. You can either come down via the knees again, or in your upward facing dog, you can flip those feet and take it back to our downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, lift through that left leg, 3-legged dog. Step that left leg in between the fingertips, walk it forward with a hand if you need. Stepping forward right, inhale, halfway lift. Breathing out, rounding down, forward fold. Inhale to rise up, Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathing out. Let's pick it up. Inhale. Second round, we're going to make it a little bit faster. Breathing out, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, down. Stepping back, right leg. Stepping back, left leg. Downward, facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, slowly guide the body down. Inhale to either your baby cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, taking it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting up through the right leg, three-legged dog. Step that leg in between the fingertips, and we're going to keep that back leg where it is and take the knee down to the ground, untuck the toe, check in on the front knee. We want our ankle to be in line with the knee. If the knee's reaching beyond the ankle, try to wiggle it back a bit, and then you can wiggle that foot forward. Inhale, lifting up through the arms to our low lunge. If the shoulders need a little bit more space here, you can bend at the elbows and bring them into cactus arms. That will just allow the neck some more space. We take a few moments breather here, catch that breath again. And then we exhale, take those hands down onto either side of the foot, tuck in that back toe, lift the knee off of the ground. Inhale, stepping it forward, halfway lift. Breathing out, rounding down, forward fold. Inhale to rise up. We're halfway through, breathing out. And again, inhale. Exhale down. Halfway lifts. Breathing out. Stepping back, left leg, right leg, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. This time you're going to challenge yourself. Exhale, slowly lower down, but don't let the body rest on the floor. Tease the ground, if you will. And then inhale, lifting to our upward facing dog, or if you need to, you can take it down to your baby cobra. Exhale, taking it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting through the left leg, three-legged dog. So I've got my lefts and rights. Stepping that foot forward, taking that back knee down, checking in, front knee, nice and safe. Lifting up through the arms. Once again, our low lunge, if you need some space for those shoulders, you can take it into cactus arms. We are getting a nice little stretch through the front of the hip here. If you want to make it deeper, you can sink your body down closer to the ground, just once again making sure that your knee is in line with that ankle. Exhale, hands down onto either side of the foot, tucking in the back toe, lifting the knee off of the ground, stepping it forward, halfway lift. Breathing out, rounding down, forward fold. Inhale to rise up. Exhale down. Final round. Inhale. Hopefully we're feeling hot by now. We're getting warmer. Halfway lift. Breathing out, rounding down, forward fold. Stepping back, right leg, left leg, downward facing dog. Hopefully the down dog's feeling more comfortable now. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, slowly guide the body down, tease the floor if you want to. Inhale, lifting up to our baby cobra. So that slow lower down is called Chaturanga Dandasana. And it's a nice way to build that strength in the arms. If it is feeling too much for those shoulders though, you can lower yourself down a bit slower, or you can always keep those knees on the ground. Taking the body back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting up through the right leg, stepping that right leg forward. And if you want to, you can take that back knee down to the ground again, but we are going to bring ourselves up to a high lunge or our warrior one. If you're going to be doing a high lunge, keep that heel off the ground. Warrior one, we're going to turn that heel down to the ground at a roughly 45-degree angle. Find your balance, lift the body up, and we're in warrior one. So warrior one, same as before. We want to keep our knee in line with that ankle. If it's shooting too far forward, going to find things a little bit wobbly. Our back heel is on the ground for our warrior one, and our hands once again can come into cactus if we need to. If you're finding things a little bit wobbly here, you can place the hands onto the hips. You can even hold onto a wall if it's close by. Take a few breaths here. This is our moment of peace in our sun salutations. It's our moment to recenter, to reconnect with that breath. And then we're going to keep on going. Take those hands down onto either side of the foot. Lift the heel off the ground first. Step that body forward, halfway lift. Breathing out, rounding down, forward fold. Inhale. And exhale down. Final side. And breathing out. Halfway lift. Exhale down. Stepping back, left leg, right leg, downward facing dog. I didn't mention this before, but if you need to, you can step open your feet slightly for down dog, and you can keep those knees bent as much as you need to if it's still feeling a little bit tight today. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale to upward facing dog or baby cobra, whatever feels best for your back. In our upward facing dog, we want to draw those shoulder blades together. Exhale, taking it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting up through the left leg, three-legged dog. Step that leg in between the fingertips. Back knee can come down if you wanted to, or we can continue with our high lunge or our warrior one. For our high lunge, keep the heel off the floor. Warrior one, take the heel down, lifting up. So for our warrior one, it feels a bit strange because we do have our leg down on the ground, but since it is angled at that 45 degrees, we are keeping those hips facing forward, that bend in the front knee. We can once again take those hands to cactus if we need a bit of space. Find your breath here. We're almost done with our sun salutations. Body should be feeling nice and warm, ready for some deeper stretches. Taking those hands down to either side of the foot, taking the heel off of the floor, stepping it forward, halfway lift, flat back, breathing out, rounding down, forward fold. Inhale, rising up, and exhale. Hands to heart. If you need to, you can grab a quick drink. We are going to be doing some standing sequences now, so feel free to pause the video if you need a bit of a breather, but then once you're ready to continue, press play. We're going to come to the middle of our mat. Once again, for our balances here, if you do need to be close to a wall, if you're feeling a little bit wobbly, do that to keep yourself safe. We're going to bring those feet nice and close together. Take a big breath in as we reach those hands up overhead, and then take them into a little bit of a finger grip here that I call Charlie's Angels finger grip because it looks like a little finger gun. Bit lame, but that's okay. Hopefully you're not laughing too hard at home. Bend those elbows a little bit just to give the head and neck some space. We're going to inhale, lift up through the arms, and then as we exhale, we're going to take the body over towards one side. Now, usually I would tell you what side to go to, but since I'm not there, it's okay. You can go to any side you want because we will be doing both sides anyway. What I do want you to keep an eye out for is this armpit. We don't want to close it over. We want to keep our armpit nice and open. Air them out. We've just done a little bit of work. We should be feeling hot. So we want to give that body some space. I'm looking up towards the ceiling, but you can keep the head facing forward if it feels more comfortable for you. And make sure you're still breathing. Inhale, lifting up those arms, coming back to the center. Take a few moments here. And then again, inhale to lift. Exhale, take it over to the other side. Each side's going to be a little bit different. Please take your body to its limit on each side. So I like to stay within the 60 to 80% limit. Try not to go to the full 100. I know it's tempting, but we want to keep your body within its comfortable range. Make sure you're still breathing. And then inhale, return to center. Now, usually we would do a little bit of back bend here. There's some options for you with your arms though. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. You can either keep those hands up towards the ceiling, or if you have a little bit of maybe a little bit of a grumpy back sometimes, if it gets a little bit injured easily, if you're not too sure about the strength there, you can take those hands down and tuck them into some little imaginary pockets in your jeans, thumbs facing out, fingertips facing down, and elbows drawing together. And we're going to inhale, lift up through the chest, and exhale, take the body back slightly, still guiding the heart towards the ceiling. If your hands are up, same thing is going to be happening here. We just don't have those hands as a bit of a gauge of how deep we can take this heart opener / back bend. If your hands are on your lower back, make sure they're not doing all of the work here. You still should be able to keep yourself up without feeling like if someone were to move those hands, you would fall out of it. Remember to keep on breathing no matter where your hands are. Should feel comfortable. We're getting a bit of a stretch here, but it's feeling okay. And then we're going to inhale, draw the body weight forward, slowly slide our hands to the front. If they are up in the air, we're going to step those feet apart and we're going to ragdoll our body down. Since we did a little bit of a heart opener there, this is going to feel nice on the back. It's going to feel comfortable as we bring ourselves down to a forward fold. And once again, you can take yourself for a little bit of a swing. You can catch onto those elbows. Give the back the room to move. From here, we're going to move into our warrior sequence. So I like to move through my warrior sequence a little bit differently. Hopefully this is giving you a new way to move through it. We're going to walk those hands forward, walk those feet back into a downward facing dog, pedaling out those feet just to give ourselves a little bit of room here. We're going to inhale, lift up through our right leg, three-legged dog, step that leg forward, and we're going to move through our warrior 2. So we're going to take that heel down towards the ground at a 90-degree angle. Just realized I'm going to be the wrong way. So we're going to flip our hands back, taking our left hand behind us, right hand in front. I'm going to show you what it looks like from behind first, and then I will spin around for you. We've got a bent front knee. Our back hip is nice and open towards the side of the room. Our leg is straight, and we're reaching out and looking across our front hands. I'm going to spin around so that you can see what it looks like from the front, but you stay where you are. So we have got our warrior 2. Here we have a nice strong midsection. We have those nice open hips. We're bringing our body forward across that front bent leg. And we should feel nice and comfortable here. If it's not feeling right, maybe bring those legs a little bit closer in together and see if that changes things for you. We're going to flip over that front hand and do our reverse warrior, taking that hand back towards the back leg. Use the back hand as a bit of a support, open through the front of the chest, and you can look up towards the ceiling. You can look over slightly towards the side of the room if you need to as well. We want to keep the bend in our front leg here, so we're falling out of it a little bit. Make sure to deepen that bend if you need to. And then we're going to inhale, bring the body forward, back to our warrior 2. We're going to bend through the front elbow, take the elbow down onto the knee, swing the arm up overhead, either diagonally, or if the shoulders need a bit of room, you can take them directly towards the ceiling. Once again, the head here, doesn't matter what you want to do with the head, you can take it up, you can look to the side, you can even look down. Make sure you're keeping that bottom arm nice and active. The good thing about the warrior sequence, we are building a lot of strength through our midsection. We're also building strength through our thighs and our ankles. Slowly bringing the body back up. We're going to windmill the hands down. Do another down dog. Doesn't matter if you're facing backwards now. And then come into a downward facing dog. We're then going to inhale, lift up through the left leg. We're going to swap sides. So step that left leg forward. Turn the right heel down towards the ground at a 90 degree. And then swing that arm back. Once again, you've got a back view of me. I will spin around for you. Staying where you are. If you do need to move around though so that you can see me easier, feel free. But we have got our hips open to the side of the room, front knee is bent, back leg is straight. We are looking out across our front fingertips. Warrior is a nice powerful pose, should feel nice and fierce here. We're going to flip open that front hand. Once again, take it back towards the back of the room for our paint the ceiling, our reverse warrior. We want to keep the bend in the front knee. Our head can look up or slightly to the side if we need a bit more space for the neck. And we're still breathing here. Sometimes when we're moving in our warriors, it might feel a little bit of a balancing act. If you ever need to have a chair close by so you feel comfortable and safe, you can quickly grab onto it. Slowly bring yourself back to our warrior 2. We're going to take our front elbow down, bend it and place it on the knee, and then swing that arm up overhead, either at a diagonal or directly towards the ceiling, whatever feels most comfortable. Head can look up to the side or down. We want our bend in the front knee to still be present. We don't want to be falling out of it. We've got a nice straight leg. One thing we do want to also be aware of is our bottoms. Make sure it's not sticking out towards the back of the room. That's going to make you feel wobbly. Make sure it's brought forward so it's in line with the rest of your body. slowly bringing yourself back up, we're going to take those hands down to down dog, push ourselves back and give ourselves a little bit of time to walk those legs out before bringing those knees to the ground, untucking the toes and coming into our child's pose. If you have high or low blood pressure, hopefully I should have mentioned this before, but you can always place those hands underneath the head if it's not feeling right, or if you can, try to take the head all the way down to the ground. We've done a lot of work in today's class. We've done some nice standing sequence, some standing stretches, some heart openers. We are going to start to slow down our class now and release out that body. Walking those hands back in towards the body. We are going to bring those feet together and then out in front. I'm going to turn to the side. We are going to do a nice little forward fold here, but it's something a little bit different. We're going to space open those legs into a bit of a wide V, a straddle position. Try not to take them as far as they can possibly go because you might find it hard to sink forward too much. I like to keep my feet a little bit relaxed here, but you can point or you can flex the feet, and that's going to change things too. And we also want to find the sit bones. So you might need to wiggle some things around so that you're on the nice flat part of the bottom. We're going to reach ourselves forward. You can either hold onto the legs here or hold onto the floor, or if you have something close by that you can hold onto, that's okay too. We're going to slowly walk the body forward until we get a nice little stretch across the backs of our legs and a nice little release through the spine as well. Some people like to do this with a nice flat back, but you can round the back here if it feels okay. Exhale, reaching forward just that little bit more. Try to keep those knees facing towards the ceiling and straight and flat on the floor. And then slowly bring those hands back towards your body. Place your hands underneath the backs of the knees. Walk those feet in close together. Give yourself a little rock side to side through those knees. We're going to take those feet together, knees apart. This is called our Baddha Konasana or our butterfly pose. We're going to slowly do the same thing again. This time it might feel a little bit more comfortable than that wide V. Walking yourself forward. If you are close to your feet, hopefully you've washed them today. You can always place a towel over them if it freaks you out. Breathing and rounding down, walking those hands further forward as you exhale if you've got room. And then slowly walking those hands back to center. Hands to the out edges of the knees. Walk those knees in. Once again, give them a little rock side to side. We're going to do some twists here too. So this next twist is a little bit confusing when you think about it too much, but I'll try and break it down so it's nice and easy. We're going to straighten out our left leg, hug our right leg in nice and close, take our right leg across the top of that left leg, and then we're going to bend that left leg in towards the body. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can keep that left leg nice and straight instead. So our legs are a little bit tangled here. Whichever leg is on top, we're going to take the opposite hand. So our right leg's on top, our left hand is going to come over our right leg. I'm going to shift to the side so you can see what's happening. You can either keep the hand upright, or I like to hold on to that leg. It gives me a bit more room to move. You can place the other hand behind you, using both together to push and pull and try to look out across that opposite shoulder. So this is a really lovely twist for the spine. Does also get a little bit of a stretch in that leg, and if you've got really tight glutes, it might be releasing those as well. We're going to come back into center and then just take it to the other side. Keep those legs where they are. Call this a little counter twist. It's just a nice way to reset the body. Bring yourself back to center. We're going to unravel those legs and we're going to swap sides. So our right leg is going to lay down flat now. Left leg is going to hug in tight. Left leg across the top of the right leg. Right leg can stay straight, or you can bring it in. Just make sure you're not sitting on that foot. Whichever leg's on top, opposite hand is going to cross over. So our right hand is going to come over our left leg. Just going to shift to the side, holding onto that leg or bringing it upright, using the other hand behind you, using both together to push and pull to try and look out across the back shoulder, keeping that spine nice and straight. slowly bring it back to center. And then a little counter twist, just twisting it back. And then into the middle, unravel those legs, and we're going to come down onto our backs. Give our knees a nice little hug in. Hopefully this feels a little bit different than what you started the class with when you were hugging those knees in tight. You can bounce those knees up and down. We're going to move through one last little hip stretch here, which is our happy baby. So we're going to take those hands in between the middle of the knees, take the hands to the outer edges of the feet, bring the feet towards the ceiling, the knees in towards the armpits. Now this looks weird, feels a little bit weird too, but it does feel nice for the hips and back, and you can rock side to side. If you're not quite able to grab onto those feet, you can hold on to the outsides of the calves, or you can even wrap the hands underneath the backs of the knees fully. Just make sure you keep those feet flexed and towards the ceiling. By rocking your baby side to side, make sure you don't fall off the tree top. You want to keep yourself upright here and just let that rock be nice and easy, nice and small. We're then going to bring our legs nice and close together, take the feet down to the ground, and then let those knees open to either side of the room. This is our Supta Baddha Konasana now. So it's our reclined bound eagle, that butterfly pose, but now we're laying down. We're going to take a few moments here and then settle into our meditation. So you might like to do any other little stretches. You might like to reach those arms up above the head. You might like to wiggle the head side to side. Just doing whatever feels good. If you want to keep your legs in this position for your meditation, you can, but if you'd prefer to bring them together, always use those hands to help the legs out. The legs have done a lot of work today. You can either keep the knees bent and take those feet apart, let the knees fall together. This is going to help the back, or you can straighten out those legs completely for your Shavasana, corpse pose. Just make sure, once again, those feet are a little bit wider than the hips. Your hands can be placed on your stomach, your chest, one of each. They can be alongside the body or reaching out a bit more like a starfish. Whatever feels more comfortable for you. You might like to pop on some layers or a blanket. And then we're going to close down those eyes and we're going to settle in to the mat. Take a few moments here. Take the time to connect in with the breath like we did at the start of class. Not trying to change the breath. You can keep those eyes closed until I let you know when it's time to get up. And as you breathe, try to deepen that breath and lengthen it across the body. Try to breathe down towards the feet. That breath reach and extend across the legs, making them feel lighter. Breathe out any of that tension. Breathe across the stomach, through each of your organs, along your hips and spine. Allow the body to become heavier with each breath. Let it sink into the mat just a little bit more. Breathe through those arms all the way down to the fingers. Those arms that held us up, that reached for the ceiling today. Give them the room and space they need to soften and release. And then finally coming up along the head and face. Allow the shoulders to drop away from the ears. Allow the jaw to unclench. Remove the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Uncrease that forehead. And then slowly start to lengthen the whole breath through the body. You might like to breathe out through the mouth, give a little sigh. Start to wiggle those fingers and toes. I know as a very quick meditation, you might not want to get up just yet. You can slow down that movement if you need to. Feel the clothes against the skin, feel a mat underneath you. Take a big breath in. Reach those hands up overhead. You might like to straighten those legs, point those toes. Release out. We're going to slowly roll over to one side. You can keep those eyes closed if you would like to. I'm going to roll onto my mic. Sorry if that makes a bad noise for you guys at home. That nice little fetal position, you can use an arm as a pillow for the head. You can bend those knees. You can keep those eyes closed. Take a few moments here. This is the hardest part of class. You don't want to get up after that meditation. It's like that first wake up of the morning when you're not quite ready to get out of bed. If you do need to stay there for a few moments longer, you can, but if not, we're going to come up to a comfortable seated position. Comfortable seated does not have to be cross legs. You can sit on a block, you can extend out those legs, but we are going to find a nice tall spine. We're going to bring those hands to the heart in our Anjali Mudra. You can blink, open those eyes if you would like to. Thank you for joining me today. It was a very quick session, but hopefully it brought you some joy. Hopefully your body feels nice and strong and long in all the right places. The light in me honours the light in each and every one of you at home. Thank you and namaste. Hope to see you again next time.